New island, new secrets, and one wild twist. Island Love, Season 3 washes ashore on Ambergris Key, and this time is couples versus singles. Will love survive when temptation is the challenge? Get ready for scandals, shock breakups, mystery guests, and the hottest season yet. Because in this villa, loyalty has a price, and every kiss could be your last. Subscribe now. Island Love returns, and trust us, you won't be ready. The boat cut through the turquoise waves of Key Calker, gliding toward a new season, a new villa, and a brand new mess. This time, it wasn't just love on the line. It was reputation, revenge, and redemption. Host Jasmine Tillett stood tall at the dock in a sleek white jumpsuit, oversized sunglasses shielding her eyes from the Caribbean sun. Behind her, a massive bamboo archway framed the villa entrance, twice the size, double the drama. Cameras zoomed in as Jasmine turned to face the arriving cast. "Welcome to Island Love, Season 3, she said smoothly. "Key Calker is calling, and your hearts? They're on notice." The first to step off the boat was Shanique Flores, a 28-year-old boutique owner from Belize City with legs for days and shade to spare. "I came here for love," she told the camera, "but if someone gets in my way, they'll find out real quick. I don't do second place." Following her was Dario Vasquez, 30, a reserved accountant from Orange Walk, already sweating nervously in his linen shirt. He waved at Shanique. She didn't wave back. Next came Keeks Tomlinson, a vibrant dance instructor from Jamaica who couldn't stop smiling until she noticed the final man stepping off the boat behind her, Trevin Martinez, tall, charismatic, a former Island Love contestant, Season 1's infamous ghoster. The comments section still hadn't forgiven him. "What is he doing here?" Keeks muttered. Jasmine clapped once to cut the tension. "This season, we've got a twist," she said. 5 men, 5 women, and 1 wild card, returning to finish what he started. Gasps, glares. One contestant dropped her coconut water. Trevin grinned, unfazed. "I've changed," he said. "I swear. But on this island, no one takes promises at face value, especially not the ones that come wrapped in 6-pack abs and unfinished apologies." The villa's gates creaked open, revealing a beachfront dream. 3 stories of glass, wood, and stone perched right over the sea. Hammocks swayed under palm trees. A fire pit glowed faintly in the sand. The contestants stared, equal parts awe and anxiety. "Get comfy," Jasmine said, flashing her signature clipboard, "because the games start tonight." Inside, the cast scattered like marbles. Shanique claimed the master suite before anyone could blink. Dario stood awkwardly by the kitchen island, sipping coconut water and avoiding eye contact. Keeks unpacked with loud music and louder opinions. But it was Trevin who moved like he owned the place, shirtless already, tossing his duffel bag on the nearest bed. "Unbelievable," Keeks muttered. "Same old Trevin." As night fell, the villa lit up for the welcome party. Tiki torches flickered. Music pulsed. Jasmine returned in a gold dress that caught every light and every glance. Tonight's mission: first impressions, talk, flirt, and by the end of the night, choose one person to share your first villa breakfast with. You've got 2 hours. With that, the games began. Shanique made her rounds like a queen inspecting her court. She flirted with Zion, the dreadlocked yoga instructor from Dangriga, but rolled her eyes the second he mentioned energies. She liked men who paid bills, not balanced chakras. Dario found unexpected rhythm talking to Nyla, a soft-spoken travel nurse from San Ignacio. She smiled at his shy jokes. He couldn't believe someone like her was even listening. Keeks cornered Jasmine. "You really brought Trevin back?" Jasmine sipped her drink, unbothered. "We all deserve second chances. Even him." Trevin, meanwhile, was putting in work. Charming Vanessa, a fashion blogger from Barbados. She laughed at everything he said, until Keeks sauntered over and dropped the mic. You know he ghosted the last girl he kissed on this show, right? Silence. Trevin tried to recover. That was a different me. Keeks narrowed her eyes. Let's hope so. As the night ended, Jasmine reappeared on the balcony. Time's up. Choose your breakfast partner, publicly. Whispers, shuffling. One by one, names were called. Shanique picked Zion, then immediately said, Don't catch feelings. Nyla smiled and chose Dario. Keeks hesitated, then chose no one. I'll eat solo. Less drama, more pancakes. Vanessa surprised everyone by choosing Trevin. He's charming, she shrugged, for now. And just like that, alliances began to form. Jasmine clapped once more. Sleep well, island lovers. The real heat starts tomorrow. As the music faded and the moon climbed higher, the villa buzzed with secrets already forming. Trevin stood on the balcony staring at the sea. Keeks stood inside staring at Trevin. And someone, unseen, watched both of them through a cracked bedroom door. The sun rose with a golden shimmer across the Caribbean Sea, casting long shadows through the villa's wide glass doors. One by one, contestants emerged from their rooms, sleepy-eyed but glam, ready for their first official day and their first paired breakfast. The villa staff had laid out a breakfast buffet that would have made influencers weep. Fried jacks, tropical fruit, bacon, stew chicken, and fresh juice in tall mason jars. Jasmine stood nearby, watching like a queen hosting her royal court. Pair up, she called, clipboard in hand. It's time to get fed and get real. Dario sat awkwardly beside Nyla on the deck, clutching his coffee like a life preserver. You sleep okay? She asked. He nodded. You? She laughed, until the ocean waves started sounding like a warning sign. They both chuckled, a gentle ease forming between them. At another table, Zion sipped his sorrel while Shanique scrolled through her phone. So, you really believe in star signs and spirit guides? He smiled. It's deeper than belief. It's energy alignment. She blinked. You got a job, though, right? Across the courtyard, Keeks was sprawled on a lounge chair, eating alone. She didn't seem bothered until Vanessa and Trevin strolled past, laughing a little too loud. Keeks muttered, He's playing her already. But it wasn't jealousy, it was strategy. Keeks didn't come back to cry over Trevin. She came back to beat him at his own game. Meanwhile, Jasmine watched the dynamics unfold with hawk eyes. She tapped her clipboard and stepped onto the main deck. Island lovers, she announced. You've had your first taste of the villa. Now it's time to start peeling the layers. She held up a golden envelope. Inside is your first challenge, the truth game. Each of you will answer one question, on camera. No dodging, no edits. Groans, eye rolls, a few nervous chuckles. One by one, they took the hot seat in the confessional booth. Shanique's question. Would you ever fake a relationship for money? She laughed. Define fake. Dario's. What's one thing you don't want your villa mates to know? He hesitated. Then, I've never had a serious girlfriend. Keeks? Her question hit hard. Who here do you not trust? She smirked. Easy. Trevin. Trevin, when his turn came, was ready. Who here are you most attracted to? He leaned forward. Still Keeks. That's why she hates me. Back outside, Keeks heard it through the villa speakers. Oh, he bold, she said, but her eyes didn't look angry. They looked unsettled. As the day wore on, the villa hummed with tension. The lines were being drawn, not just between alliances, but between past and present, trust and temptation. And in the back patio, under a palm tree, Nyla whispered to Dario, "Do you feel like this is all real?" He looked at her. "I'm trying to make it real." Just then, a producer's voice crackled over the speaker. "Island lovers, report to the fire pit. It's time for your first elimination vote." Mouths dropped, hearts raced. Nobody expected it this soon. The fire pit glowed against the darkening Belizean sky, flickering shadows dancing across the nervous faces of the contestants. Jasmine stood front and center, clipboard in hand, wrapped in a deep purple jumpsuit that shimmered under the torches. "Tonight," she said, voice smooth as silk, "you'll cast your very first elimination vote." Gasps echoed across the circle. "But we just got here," Vanessa blurted. Jasmine raised a brow. "Exactly. First impressions matter." A long table stood beside her, holding a box, slips of paper, and a golden conch shell engraved with the words, "Truth reveals all." "One by one, you'll come forward and vote for the person you feel doesn't belong in this villa. Yet," Jasmine explained, "the one with the most votes will pack their bags. Tonight." The air turned thick. No one moved. Jasmine tapped her clipboard. "Let's begin." Nyla went first, barefoot, her curls still damp from a quick shower. She wrote a name slowly, lips pressed tight. Trevin followed, whistling low, looking casual, but his eyes scanned the group like a chessboard. Keeks strutted forward without hesitation. She scribbled fast. Dario was quiet, thoughtful. Zion hummed a tune as he walked up, but the beat stopped when he reached the table. Back at the fire pit, anxiety rose like steam. "Who you think it's going to be?" Vanessa whispered to Shanique. "I don't know," she muttered, "but I got a feeling the past's about to catch up with somebody." Once all votes were cast, Jasmine opened the box. "I'll read the names," she said. "No commentary until I'm done." She unfolded the slips one by one. "Zion, Keeks, Zion, Trevin, Zion, Zion." The group inhaled sharply. "Zion," Jasmine said, eyes steady. "You've received 4 out of 7 votes. That's the majority." He stood, trying to hide his surprise behind a calm expression. "Guess my chakras were off today," he said, forcing a small smile. Jasmine gave him a respectful nod. "Before you go, any last words?" He looked around. "Y'all didn't even get to know me." Then he turned to Shanique. "Good luck with the skeptics." With that, he grabbed his bag, gave a 2-finger salute to the crew, and walked off into the night. As the boat engine roared in the distance, Jasmine turned back to the group. Island love doesn't wait for comfort. It exposes what's real, fast. She paused, letting the weight of the moment sink in. "Tomorrow, a new twist arrives. Sleep tight, if you can." She walked away, clipboard under arm, heels clicking against the stone tiles. Back at the villa, silence settled like dew. In the hallway, Keeks passed Trevin without a glance. Nyla sat on her bed, staring at her vote card. Dario stood on the balcony watching the stars. And deep down, every contestant realized this wasn't just a game, it was survival. The morning after Zion's elimination dawned humid and heavy, as if the villa itself sensed something was about to shift. Inside the kitchen, the contestants moved in slow silence. Shanique poured bush tea. Keeks fiddled with her nails. Dario flipped cassava pancakes like he didn't just vote someone off the island hours before. Suddenly, Jasmine's voice echoed over the villa's sound system. Island lovers, report to the pool deck immediately. Everyone exchanged glances. Vanessa rolled her eyes. Can't even eat in peace. Minutes later, the group assembled poolside, eyes squinting against the bright sun. Jasmine stood waiting in a vibrant orange romper, clipboard in one hand, the other resting on a golden briefcase beside her. "Good morning," she said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "You all voted someone out. Congratulations." Dario shifted. "Doesn't feel like a win." "Oh, it's not," Jasmine replied smoothly. "Because this season we're flipping the script." She tapped the briefcase, then snapped it open. Inside, 8 envelopes. She held them up. "Today, you will all be reassigned to new sleeping partners. That's right, switch-up day has arrived." Groans, gasps, one nervous laugh from Trevin. "This villa was designed to test love, not comfort," Jasmine continued. "Each envelope contains your new roomie. You'll share a suite, no swapping, no trading, until further notice." She handed the envelopes out one by one. Keeks ripped hers open. "Trevin?" "Ah, fine," Trevin grinned. "Try not to fall for me." Dario raised his brow at his own envelope. "Shanique, huh?" She shrugged. "Just don't snore." Vanessa blinked at hers, then whispered to Nyla. "We're together? That's a plot twist." Jasmine clapped her hands once. "Rooms reset by noon, and don't get too cozy. We've got a compatibility challenge tonight." With that, she turned and walked off, leaving a trail of sandal clicks and chaos. Back inside, the drama unraveled. Keeks pulled Trevin aside. "Let's get this straight. I don't like cuddles, I don't like crumbs, and I really don't like snoring." Trevin smirked. "So, no midnight spooning? Try it and lose a finger." In another suite, Shanique and Dario unpacked in awkward silence. "So," he said, "you cool with this? Let's see if you can fold a towel properly first." Meanwhile, Nyla and Vanessa sat cross-legged on their bed, flipping through the challenge card Jasmine left on their pillow. It read, "Tonight, Truth or Dare, Compatibility Edition." Vanessa read it aloud and cackled. "Truth and Dare? Oh, they coming for our lives." Nyla nodded. "Someone's getting exposed." As the sun dipped low and the pool shimmered gold, the villa's energy shifted again. New rooms, new tensions, and with the upcoming challenge, old secrets were bound to surface. But one contestant stood on the balcony, arms crossed, eyes scanning the sea. "Trevin," he whispered to himself, "I didn't come here for games, but I'm about to play like a pro." And somewhere across the villa, Jasmine sipped coconut water behind the scenes, watching the footage roll in. The real games had just begun. The sun had barely disappeared below the horizon when the villa's fire pit lit up in glowing orange, tiki torches flanking every angle. A long circle of floor cushions surrounded the space, and one thing was clear: tonight's vibe was set for confession and chaos. Contestants trickled in, all dressed in their tropical, casual, but sexy best. Open shirts, sarongs, anklets, gloss. Jasmine appeared last, clipboard in hand, of course, and a sly smile playing on her lips. "Island lovers," she announced, "welcome to the Compatibility Challenge. Truth or Dare, Unfiltered Edition." A ripple of laughter and nervous side-eyes passed through the group. "You'll each pull a card. If you pass on both Truth and Dare, your couple loses a compatibility point. But here's the twist. Your partner gets to answer or perform it instead." Trevin leaned toward Keeks. "We're doomed," she hissed. "You talk, you walk." Jasmine began handing out the cards. Let's begin. First up, Dario. He read aloud. Truth. Have you ever pretended to like someone in the villa just to stay safe? Or dare? Kiss the person you'd pick if your current partner wasn't an option. The group howled. Shanique raised a brow. Go on, then. Dario cleared his throat. I'll take the truth. A beat. Yeah. I pretended a little with Eliza in week 1. Gasps. Eliza looked shocked. Wow. Next, Nyla. Dare. Let someone in the circle feed you a fruit while blindfolded. Trevin grinned. I volunteer. Vanessa rolled her eyes. It'll be pineapple and you'll survive. They blindfolded Nyla, and Trevin fed her a mango slice, slowly, with way too much eye contact. The group oohed and laughed, but something subtle shifted in Nyla's smile. A crack in the ice. Then came Keeks, her card. Truth, have you ever cheated in a relationship? Dead silence. Keeks shrugged. Once. Years ago. Regretted it instantly. Lesson learned. Even Trevin looked surprised. Honest. Always, she said, crossing her legs. As the game rolled on, boundaries stretched. Vanessa's dare. Dance on someone's lap for 30 seconds. She picked Shanique. Everyone howled as Shanique turned bright red, but laughed through it. Then came Trevin's card. Truth, who do you trust the least in this villa? The fire cracked as everyone leaned in. He hesitated. Honestly, Dario. Dario blinked. Why? Trevin looked him dead in the eye. Your loyalty moves faster than a speedboat in San Pedro. The tension hit hard. Before things could boil over, Jasmine stepped in. All right, lovers. That's enough truth for one night. But don't get too comfy. Your compatibility scores have been calculated. And tomorrow, 2 pairs will be at risk of elimination. Eyes widened. Tonight, sleep tight. Tomorrow, choose right. As everyone filtered out, whispers rippled like wind through palm trees. In her room, Keeks sat on her bed, flipping through her journal. One wrong answer, she murmured, and you're off the island. Across the hall, Trevin stared at the ceiling. This wasn't just about love anymore. It was survival. The villa was unusually quiet the next morning. No breakfast giggles, no reggae bouncing from the pool speakers, just slow footsteps, tense glances, and whispered questions like smoke on the breeze. The announcement was hanging over everyone like a tropical storm cloud. 2 couples would be at risk of elimination today. In the lounge, Jasmine stood waiting in a teal jumpsuit and wedge heels that clicked like a countdown. The contestants trickled in, paired off and paranoid. She didn't waste time. Good morning, island lovers. Based on last night's compatibility challenge, 2 couples scored the lowest in communication, honesty, and emotional alignment. Murmurs, a few gasps. Keeks squeezed Trevin's hand tighter than she meant to. The bottom 2 are... A dramatic pause. Eliza and Dario. Dario's jaw clenched. And Keeks and Trevin. Keeks muttered, Figures. Jasmine raised a brow. You'll now face the villa vote. Everyone else will choose which one couple to eliminate. The other gets to stay. Barely. The group reacted like someone dropped hot pepper sauce in the pool. You have 1 hour to campaign. Choose your words carefully. As Jasmine walked out, her clipboard slapped her thigh like a gavel. Let the scramble begin. Dario pulled Eliza aside. I'm sorry about what I said last night, he began. Eliza folded her arms. You embarrassed me. I panicked, she sighed. So now what? We beg people to keep us? I don't beg. I clarify. Meanwhile, Keeks cornered Vanessa and Nyla by the smoothie bar. You know Trevin and I been real from day one, she said, pleading without begging. Y'all seen us grow. Vanessa nodded slowly. You're strong, but he's rubbed people the wrong way. Keeks's tone sharpened. We all got sharp edges. Trevin approached Shanique. You trust me, right? She blinked. Honestly, not always, but I believe in your thing with Keeks. He smiled, grateful. We just need another shot. In the end, the vote came fast and cold. Everyone gathered around the fire pit. The flames flickered like nerves. Jasmine returned, cards in hand. The votes are in, she said. The couple leaving Island Love tonight is... A pause, so long even the ocean held its breath. Eliza and Dario. Eliza lowered her eyes. Dario looked stunned. He stood, gave a single nod, and walked out without a word. Eliza stayed a moment longer. Good luck, she whispered to Keeks before heading toward the dock. And just like that, the villa got smaller. Jasmine turned to the group. Let this be your reminder. On this island, love is tested daily. She walked away into the night, clipboard swinging. As the flames crackled and sandals shuffled off into the villa, Keeks sat down beside Trevin. We survived, he said, exhaling. Keeks wasn't smiling. For now. Nightfall in the villa had a heartbeat of its own. Waves crashing in rhythm, torches flickering like secrets, and hearts drumming in chests that didn't know what tomorrow held. The air still felt strange after Eliza and Dario's exit. Conversations were quiet. Laughter was rare. And everyone was waiting for Jasmine's next move. It came at sunset. The contestants gathered near the infinity pool. A new setup was in place. 2 chairs facing the group and a small pedestal between them. Jasmine arrived, this time in a deep red jumpsuit, dramatic as ever. I hope you've enjoyed a moment of peace, she said, flashing a smile. Because it ends now. Keeks leaned into Trevin. Here we go again. Jasmine continued. Tonight, the island reopens the past. One contestant is returning. Not a stranger, someone who was here before and still has unfinished business. Gasps rippled through the group. Before anyone could ask, the sound of a boat engine cut through the tension. Everyone turned toward the dock. And there he was. Trey. Yes, that Trey. The same Trey who stirred drama in season 2, broke Maya's heart, and lit social media on fire with one whispered lie during the loyalty test. But this time, he stepped onto the dock with a calmer energy. No cocky grin, just a backpack slung over one shoulder and eyes scanning the group like he was trying to read the future. Nyla dropped her glass. Shanique whispered, Lord have mercy. Trevin muttered, Isn't he supposed to be banned or something? Keeks raised an eyebrow. Guess ratings needed saving. Trey walked up to Jasmine and gave a nod. Thanks for the second chance. Jasmine turned to the group. Trey is here as a wild card. He doesn't get a partner. Not yet. But he will be allowed to take someone on a one-on-one date tomorrow. No questions asked. Murmurs erupted. Trey glanced around the group, lingering on Nyla, smirking briefly at Shanique, and then stopping at Keeks. She stared back, unmoved. "Let the games begin," Jasmine said, exiting like a boss. Later that night, the villa buzzed with speculation. "Who's he gonna pick?" Nyla asked aloud. "Better not be me," Shanique scoffed, pacing. Keeks was quiet. Trevin noticed. "You know him?" he asked. She sipped her drink, eyes focused ahead. "We dated, briefly, last year." Trevin blinked. "Seriously?" She nodded. "Didn't end well. Man lies smoother than coconut oil." He clenched his jaw. "He better keep it moving." Just then, Trey walked past them on the patio. He stopped, turned, looked Keeks in the eyes, and said, "We got a lot to catch up on." Then walked off like he never shattered her trust in the first place. Trevin stood up, fists balled. Keeks grabbed his wrist. "Not here. Not now." But her hand was trembling. Inside, Trey went to the confessional booth. Looking dead into the camera, he said, "I didn't come back to make friends. I came to win, and I know exactly how." The morning sun rose soft and golden over the island, but tension in the villa was anything but warm. Everyone knew what today meant. Trey's wild card date. No partner, no vote. Just one bold choice. The breakfast table was quieter than usual. No banter. Just coffee being sipped and glances exchanged like playing cards. Then Jasmine's voice blared from the speakers. "Island lovers, report to the pool deck. It's time to reveal who Trey has chosen." Feet shuffled, eyes rolled, hearts pounded. They found Trey already standing beside Jasmine, dressed in a crisp white linen shirt and barefoot in the sand like he'd never left the island. He held a gold-trimmed envelope. Jasmine raised her brows. "You sure about this?" He nodded. "Absolutely." She turned to the group. "The person going on a one-on-one sunset date with Trey is—" A pause. "Keeks!" Gasps exploded across the group. Trevin froze. Keeks blinked. Her lips parted, but no words came. "Keeks?" Shanique echoed, stunned. "That man has no shame." Trevin stepped forward. "You serious right now?" Trey grinned. "Very. The past is just a detour. I want to see if we've got a future." Jasmine held up a hand before Trevin could reply. "The date is non-negotiable. Keeks, you have 1 hour to get ready." Keeks opened her mouth to protest, but stopped. "I'll go," she said quietly. Trevin stared at her in disbelief. "You don't have to." "I do," she said, eyes hard. "For closure." She turned and walked away, chin high, but her fingers trembled around her iced coffee. That evening, Trey and Keeks sailed off in a private catamaran as the others watched in stunned silence. Trevin punched a pillow. Shanique muttered curses under her breath. Even Nyla had no words. "Y'all don't get it," Shanique finally snapped. "Trey's not just a wild card. He's a fire starter." Meanwhile, on the boat, Keeks sat across from Trey under soft fairy lights and the orange wash of the setting sun. "So," she said flatly, "why me?" Trey leaned forward. "Because I messed up, and because I never stopped thinking about you." She scoffed. "You stopped replying to my texts. Pretty sure that counts." "I panicked," he admitted. "You were real, and I wasn't ready for real. And now you are? I want to try. One real date, One honest shot. Keeks looked away. You know what hurts the most? She said softly. I told myself I was over you, that Trevin made me forget. But when I saw you walk in yesterday... She trailed off. Trey whispered, Did your heart skip? She didn't answer, because it did. Back at the villa, Trevin sat in the confessional booth, jaw tight. I trusted her, he said, but now I don't know what's real. Cut to Keeks returning hours later, barefoot, glowing, eyes unreadable. Shanique rushed to her. What happened? Keeks gave a tight smile. He said all the right things. Trevin stood in the shadows watching, but Keeks didn't look at him, because Trey, he had gotten in her head. The morning after Keeks' sunset date with Trey, the villa was heavy with unspoken tension. The sea still shimmered, the breeze still danced through palm trees, but inside, eyes watched, lips whispered, and hearts tightened. Trevin hadn't slept. He sat alone on the deck, staring at the sea with a look that could split coconuts. A mug of untouched coffee steamed beside him. When Keeks stepped outside in an oversized t-shirt and shades, he didn't even blink. She walked over slowly. Can we talk? He didn't look at her. Talk or confess? Keeks sighed. I didn't plan that date. Jasmine handed me the card. But you went. I needed to clear the air. Trevin turned. And did you? She hesitated. Trey still has feelings. But I made it clear I'm here to explore what's real. With you. Trevin stood, his voice low and sharp. Then why didn't you say that last night? Why come back and avoid me like I'm the villain? Because I'm confused, okay? Her voice cracked. I thought I buried those feelings, but seeing him, it messed me up. He stepped closer. Do you still want me? Keeks blinked, tears threatening. I want clarity. That's not an answer, he said, then walked off, leaving her breathless. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Shanique stirred her tea like it had insulted her. She muttered. I knew Trey was trouble, and now Keeks is tangled. Nyla sat at the counter, chewing her lip. You think she's going to pick him? Island love is full of plot twists, babes, Shanique said. But this one feels personal. That afternoon, Jasmine appeared on the terrace in high-waisted white pants and a straw hat. Island lovers, she called out. Tonight, we're hosting a truth and fire circle. Groans echoed. You'll each write down one burning question for another contestant. No names, just the truth. And oh, everyone answers in front of the group. Trey smirked. Bring it on. Keeks went pale. Trevin didn't flinch. He was already sharpening his truth. That night, the contestants gathered around the beach fire pit. Flames flickered. Drinks clinked. The air was sharp with anticipation. Jasmine pulled a card from the wooden box. To Keeks, if Trey hadn't left the island, would you and Trevin even exist? Silence fell like a hammer. Keeks looked up. Everyone was watching, even Trey, even Trevin. She took a shaky breath. If Trey hadn't left, maybe we would have had a chance. But he did leave, and Trevin showed up when I needed someone steady. Then she looked directly at Trevin. You gave me safety. Trey gave me chaos. Right now I'm done chasing chaos. Trevin's jaw unclenched slightly, but the doubt lingered. Jasmine nodded and pulled another card. To Trey, are you here for love or just for a comeback? Trey leaned back, smile gone. I came for Keeks, but if I leave with clarity, even if it's not with her, I'll take that over likes and camera time. Shanique whispered, Surprising. Nyla nodded. Maybe he's not all drama. Jasmine raised one final card. To everyone, if you had to choose today, who would you leave the island with? Eyes darted, breaths caught, and suddenly the game wasn't just for TV. The sun rose golden and bold over the Belizean coast, casting long shadows across the villa. It was the last morning. The air was thick, not just with humidity, but with finality. Keeks stood barefoot in the sand, facing the waves. Her heart pounded like the tide. Behind her, Jasmine waited on the deck in a dramatic red dress, clipboard in hand, and a soft smile on her face. "Today's the day," she said. "One last decision. No twists. Just truth." Keeks nodded, but her mind was spinning. Trey or Trevin? Chaos or comfort? History or hope? She turned to see both men standing by the palm trees, waiting. Trevin in a white shirt, arms crossed, jaw tense, but eyes soft. Trey in a light blue linen set, his charm dialed down, his sincerity turned up. Jasmine called the contestants to the final bonfire ceremony, each couple seated on driftwood benches as the fire blazed. "Island lovers," she began, "this journey started with secrets and surprises, but it ends with one truth. Love is a choice, and today that choice belongs to Keeks." All eyes turned to her. She stepped forward, holding a palm leaf envelope. "I wrote this last night," she said, "after the fire circle." Her voice trembled slightly but grew steadier. "Trey, we had something wild and beautiful. You saw me before I even knew myself, but you left when things got hard. And while you've grown, I can't forget the silence you gave me when I needed words." Trey's smile faded, and he nodded slowly. Keeks turned to Trevin. "You walked in quiet, but stood by me loud. When things got messy, you didn't run. You challenged me without tearing me down. You made me believe love could be safe and still exciting." She stepped closer to him. "So, if you're still willing, I'd like to see where this goes." Trevin didn't wait. He pulled her into a hug that made the entire villa cheer. Trey stepped back, clapped twice, and gave a small bow. "No hard feelings," he said. "Not every story needs a second chapter." Jasmine stepped forward, handing Keeks and Trevin a ceremonial conch shell and a check for $15,000 BZD. "But remember," she said with a knowing smile, "the real prize is what you take home in your hearts." Confetti popped. Steel drums played. The villa danced under moonlight as the credits rolled. Keeks and Trevin kissed by the fire, laughter spilling between them. Trey sat beside Shanique, sharing coconut water and swapping stories. And Jasmine? She raised a glass to the camera. "Island love always delivers drama, but sometimes it delivers destiny too." Season 3 of Island Love gave us everything. Truth, tears, and a final choice that left us breathless. Keeks chose vulnerability over history, and Trevin proved that quiet love can speak the loudest. But this isn't goodbye. It's just the beginning. Island Love will return. Subscribe for Season 4 updates. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep your hearts open and your secrets ready to spill.